If you are launching products and services, you could be leaving so much money on the table by not doing this one thing. Most go-to-market strategies cover a clear offering, a strong product, and then build out a solid launch plan. What people tend to do is focus on these three things. And honestly, they especially focus on the last thing, which is kind of a waste of your time. It's not where you should be putting your time, effort, and energy. But there is one thing that gets overlooked time and time again. And as someone who's never had a launch budget bigger than $2,000, but still driven around $50 million worth of revenue across multiple startups over the last 17 years, it pains me to see so many startups and solopreneurs making this mistake. So that's why I'm here to fix it for you today. The thing that I see missing from so many go-to-market strategies is objection handling. Let's just go back in time a little bit to a marketing campaign by Avis, the car rental company. Previous to this campaign, Avis was losing $3.2 million every year. After they launched this, they actually became profitable by over $1.2 million. And this campaign, We Try Harder. Avis knew that it was the second option of car rental. They were trailing behind their competitor Hertz. So instead of waiting for people to find that out, they attacked that head on, handling the objections up front, clearing space for people to actually buy into them as a company. By acknowledging this position and this objection, and openly admitting their second place status, Avis were able to play into this, showcasing that that flaw was actually a strength for their company. They told us that that position made them work harder and more for their customers. Following this campaign, not only did Avis see themselves profitable, but their annual revenue increased from $34 million to $50 million. Handling your objections up front and turning your weaknesses into strengths is such an underutilized, powerful marketing tactic that I'm going to show you how to do yourself. In fact, as with a lot of marketing and a lot of launching your own startup, this is deep rooted in a psychological phenomenon. If you are able to get objections out of the way first and focus on the value that your brand delivers, you are actually reducing the need of your customers to imagine the problems themselves. This stops them from creating their own objections because they've already had that fear element of their decision making completely eradicated. And also, if you don't put effort into handling your objections properly, all of that lovely launch planning is kind of wasted. By not only focusing on the benefits of your product, but also addressing the concerns that can stop people from buying your product, you are covering every base and making sure that there is no money left on the table. What does objection handling look like in a go-to-market strategy? First off, it's the research, understanding what objections might come up. You need to anticipate the objections before they're raised and before you even go to market. There are two ways you can do this. You can assume and you can think of anything that your customer might likely come up with in which to resist from purchasing. Or you can ask. If you already have an audience, if you already have a set of people who've purchased from you, integrating them into this feedback loop not only gives you data, but it also taps into people's psychological need to feel part of a decision-making process and therefore will convert them into customers and also advocates of your brand faster. So the first step is to collect any objections that you think or you've asked will come up from this product. The next thing you're going to do is collect testimonials, social proof, or data. These first two steps are gathering the information that we need in order to put it into our go-to-market strategy. To do this, you can look at your other products you've already sold. If you don't have any products, reach out to some people who've interacted with your brand and ask them for a testimonial. Try and tap into your audience, whether that's through user-generated content on social or real buyers, to gather up those testimonials and those risk reversals by showing people already using your product or service. And the third part, the big juicy part, is you integrate these objections into your marketing. You add them to your marketing message and your marketing flow. You will now have your list of weaknesses. You will now know what people are going to object to in your product or in your service. Mostly, these are things that you can combat head on at the very beginning of your marketing. If your feedback has been the product is expensive, you want to make sure that within your marketing material, you are highlighting the premium offering and you are explaining why and its value over cost. If the feedback has been that it's too clunky or it's hard to use, you want to make sure in your launch material, you're putting out how-tos and very easy guides and really highlighting the ease of access once you know how to use it. You need to take each of these objections and reframe them in a way that will help your audience understand why it's not an objection, it's a new learning, or it's a different way of looking at things. And front load this in your marketing campaigns and remind people of this. If you've watched my video on doing a proper product launch, you will know there are multiple touch points. To make sure your go-to-market strategy is not leaving any money on the table, you need to ensure that at every touch point, you are foreseeing and overcoming objections before they come up. Getting rid of the fear of purchase or getting rid of the need to find a problem with the decision that a customer is making is going to 10x your revenue. Trust me. Try it for yourself. Let me know how it goes in the comments. Do like, subscribe, and please do keep building that brand properly.